Dr. Vaid, we have this letter written by many of, you're a signatory yourself. I mean, I'm just seeing your name here on this list at number 49. What is the sum and substance of this letter, and what people feel about this NewsClick issue, Dr. Vaid?
See, this NewsClick, as per report of investigating agency, is funded by the Communist Party of China, and this is with a particular agenda to float an agenda that which is against the country, build a good opinion about China's all actions and tarnish the image of the Indian government. There's no democracy here in India. Imagine China funding an opinion that in India there is no democracy. In India, institutions have been compromised. Look who's talking, and all this money trail must be found out. I think this is this funding is with a particular aim of damaging India's integrity and national security. That's why we all wrote that the direction goes from the Honorable President of India that the investigation should be done. Why this money is coming? How is it coming? Why this media channel has been particularly opened just to create a particular narrative, and that's why all of us have addressed this to Honorable President of India.
And Dr. Vaid, not only is the anger mounting, but also to set an example of those who are manipulating news, trying to peddle this fake narrative. And even in this letter, as mentioned, of how Indian taxpayers are being fooled with fake news and Chinese propaganda.
Absolutely. The whole purpose is to float a fake news. How good is China? How good is China's Communist Party? And influencing people's opinion here, taking advantage of India's democratic institutions, taking advantage of India's free free society and total freedom of press. That doesn't mean we allow our enemies to damage our country. So I think a fair and proper investigation must go why the media house is being pumped in by money and who is financing it. That's what we want to know.
All right, Dr. Vaid, many thanks for speaking to Republic this evening. And as we continue to get you details of this letter that has been written out to the President, where 255 eminent citizens who write out that when this nexus has yet again been exposed by an international daily, third-party members of the press, as mentioned, are crying foul. This propaganda machinery comprising a predictable nexus of some journalists, select media houses, businesses, NGOs who are silently but aggressively targeting the democratic fiber of the nation, paid media houses who have been in the business of setting false narratives at various levels to undermine our democracy, from seeding hate and discord between communities to whitewashing a nation which has the blood of our soldiers on their hands. The modus operandi is of turning terrorists into activists, activists into nationalists, and nationalists into traitors. Niranjan, who continues to be with us, a very strong message that is being sent out through this letter, Niranjan, and this will certainly set it as an example, not just for NewsClick, but through NewsClick to certain organizations who are pushing a certain narrative, fake news, and fooling citizens of the country.
Well, yes, it appears that, this entire episode is sort of, opened up people's eyes on what really is going on, because for the longest time, even though people knew about the funding of some of these so-called media bodies. It appears now that those in the know, those who have served India in the past, are saying it's enough. Enough is enough. It's high time that this manufactured consensus towards China is exposed, and it's high time that anti-free press agenda is exposed. And the letter also states that the so-called free press is covertly funded by China, and these are the same people who often talk about free press, etc. They talk about freedom of speech. They claim, there is a threat to freedom of speech. So they're sort of calling them out, saying that these are the same set of people who often lecture about, how Indian democracy is facing a threat, etc., while taking money from China. So it's ironic. And saying that taxpayers have been manipulated by subterfuge manufactured in China. And from the mail train, it's clear, not just some of the media houses so-called sold out to China journalists, but also politicians, communists who are paid, interestingly, a lot of money, and it's not small money, a lot of money, large sums were paid to some of the politicians as well. So it raises, and directly from China, these are funds coming in from a Chinese agent, so to say, a millionaire. So, calling out inimical forces of India, saying that the garb of free press has been misused for the longest time, and talk about how these people essentially were spokespersons for China, and they're still trying to, get some more signatories to this letter with us right now, so that we can speak to them and get their view on why they feel so strongly about this particular issue. I'm reading out from the letter as well. The letter says that, Indians are deeply pained by the anti-India agenda originating from fake news peddlers and vested lobbies. A recent investigation by the New York Times exposing the new news portal NewsClick as an organization funded by millionaire Neville Roy Singham at the behest of China as the cause at the center of our pain and anguish. And saying that the question that inevitably arises, and I don't think we can get some of these signatories, including Vikram Singh, etc., former DGP, many former bureaucrats, former IFS officers, former diplomats. We have former retired judges, some retired chief justices of different high courts also, or signatories. So the question they say that inevitably rises is, should we not check such forces which are spreading misinformation and then trying to interfere with our democratic processes at the behest of foreign powers? Can we allow such forces to let the voice of reason, of patriotism, of integrity be muffled for petty agendas? The news portal NewsClick, notorious for peddling fake narratives, has been found guilty of questionable links to a country openly inimical to India's interest, that is China.
Ranjan, to stay on with us, also Ankit is joining us from the newsroom as we are putting out a copy of